decided to do this video. I've been preparing on so many different levels to do it. I'm ready today. I have cleared so much and realigned myself to the highest I could to be able to share my dark night of the soul with you today. This dark night of the soul, what is it, right? I'm gonna give you my version because I think everybody has theirs. It's when everything around you crumbles. It's when all of that you thought was real isn't. It's when you feel totally out of alignment on every part of your being, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. Everything is out of alignment at the highest level. It's a very deep, transformative period of time in our life, but also really hard. I'm gonna give you just some information about the family I grew up with and what kind of circumstances I grew up in. And if there's anyone in my family that watches this video, because I know you may watch it at some point, I just want you to receive that as my truth. For the longest period of time in my life, I was not able to talk about my version of things. I wanted to hide my version because it was not aligning with about anybody else. And I'm a different person now. So if you don't want to watch my version of our story, you can just skip this video. Otherwise, I'm asking you to open your heart because I'm doing this to help others. It's not to blame anyone because I know I chose this life, even if it was really hard. But I'm grateful and I forgive a lot of what that happened in my life. I do not hold any anger anymore. I know we are all in our journey of healing and we don't take the same paths, and it's okay with me. So here I begin. So I'm from Quebec, the French part of Canada. I grew up in a family where we did not have a lot of money. I mean, we were able to eat and everything, but nothing really fancy. So I've had a lot of limiting beliefs to clear around money, as you probably can understand. And the family I chose to incarnate with had already a lot of issues before I got there. So my father had alcohol issues and violence issues. My mother had a lot of codependency and did not have really good boundaries. And my brother had what I would describe as a dysfunctional sexuality. So here I am incarnating in that family. So it has been really hard. When I was younger, I felt blessed because my dad never beaten me, but he did beat my mom and my brother, which I felt was really hard to see and witness. And at some point, things got a little better for this part, but the alcohol was always present. So for most of my life, I could not feel I could connect with my father. And to the total opposite, my mother was overly sharing with me, overly present. So I had a lot of my mother and almost nothing from my father in what I could feel, growing up. A lot of fear around my father around men in general, and I've experienced sexual trauma as well. I also used some drugs when I was younger to try to cope with everything. Dancing was a very beautiful way for me to heal. I'm grateful about that part, that's for sure. So my dark night of the soul started in September 2015. At that point, I was with a partner, and we just had bought the first house. I had never gotten a house in my life, and we were in the house for about 4 months. And during all the time between when we got that house till September, I was disconnected from my body, disconnected from him. I just didn't want to be cuddled or touched or just any intimacy. I just didn't feel like it, and I just didn't know why, because there was nothing happening between me and him, but I could feel I was shifting in a weird way, and I just didn't know why. I was doing my master's degree in social work. I already had a bachelor, but I wanted to have my master's, so I was doing that, working full-time, doing my master part-time. I was halfway through. So I was super busy, as you can imagine. But yeah, I was feeling a distance being more and more present between me and my heart, and me and the people around me. So I started to see a counselor through work, and we started talking about family and my relationship and all of these things. And at some point on a Sunday morning, I remembered a memory of a sexual assault that I did not remember for 13 years. And I remember it being in my bedroom and being like, oh my God, this really happened. I had forgotten about it. And it was my brother. We had gone partying together. We had drank a lot. And at some point during the night, I woke up and he was touching me everywhere. Then I don't even remember falling asleep that night. And then I remember being in the bathroom and just hoping for this to never happen. So I remember praying to God, praying to whatever. I want to forget that this is not happening. This is not happening. So you can imagine, if I'm in a relationship with a man for a few years now, and then we still have these family gatherings, right, every few weekends. And at first, I don't know how I can even digest the news myself, because I've never really faced that truth. So I'm feeling completely lost. And then I remember also everything that my brother has made me go through. When I was younger, when I started to have more feminine figure and curves, he started looking at me like if I was not his sister anymore. So he would look at me through the see-through window of the bathroom, under the door of the other bathroom, under the door of my bedroom. So I always felt like, hyper vigilant at home. And at that point, I was probably 14 years old when that started. I started to take showers of like 2-3 minutes, because I was so scared he would come and see me and look at me. I had talked to my parents about it, but I don't think they knew how to handle it. So they did their best, but things kind of continued on for a few years until he left home to go somewhere else, which I was super grateful for, but still hurt from all of these years that this happened. So by reconnecting to that first memory of that sexual assault, the drunk night, I also reconnected to all that had happened with him. So I started to have short showers, locking the door of the bathroom, not wanting my boyfriend, my partner at the time, looking at me when I was naked, hiding my body all the time. Like, I would not sleep with anything else than like clothes on. I could not have him touch me. I was just totally a mess. And then later on, I understood I had the PTSD, because I was going to work, and I was thinking my brother would come and would attack me or would do something to me. When you're having a PTSD, for those who don't know, your thoughts are not, they're triggered by fear and trauma. It's not that they're happening, it's just that you're scared it's gonna happen. So that was a lot part of when I started to remember that. I confronted my brother with this event and how we grew up and everything it made me go through. A few months later, he did not deny it. He just said that he had a lot of hormones and that he never wanted to hurt me. But the matter of the fact is that I was hurt already, right? So from that point on, I had already just spoken to my partner about it, and so I started to take more distance, not wanting to be in those family gatherings, because I could not, because every time I was going there, I would see him doing what he had done to me that night, or with this really dysfunctional eye gazing he had on me. So I could not be with him. It was just so triggering. It was just so hard. I stayed in my bubble. I continued counseling, but I was not really going anywhere. So I stopped, and then anyway, a few months later, I knew that I was not getting better. So I found a beautiful counselor that helped me so much. I'm really grateful for her help. And with her help, I could get some help from my doctor. And the following summer, so we're in summer 2017, I sent a letter to my brother and his wife. I needed to tell my truth, because he was telling everybody I was lying, because he was just denying who I was and my truth. So I did that. You can imagine it didn't really help anything, but I felt I needed to regain my power, at least to say my part of the story. So from that point on, I could not see his kids, which I was godmother of one, which was super hard too. And I could not do anything else. So that's what happened. And so I haven't spoken to my brother since summer 2017. I mean, it was not talking, so probably even 2016. I had taken a few months off after my doctor asked me to relax, because I could not sleep, and with the PTSD and all of that, it was really hard. So that time alone, although it was just so hard, I finished my master's degree. That was the summer 2017. I was really happy, but as soon as I sent the paperwork, I crashed. But I found what I loved. I started painting. I started doing things for me. I started seeing the word in a different light. So that was really needed. I also took medication, which I don't anymore for a long time now, but I think it helped me. Now I know there's so much more things that we could do instead of taking these medications. I can help if you ever want to talk about it. But I also had a healer that I had seen. She's been very present in my life in the last 10 years, and I'm really grateful to her. So a lot of things came up to clear too, past lives and all of that. So that was a really big process. So having that happen, then the following few months, I wanted to say to my parents what had happened too, because that was kind of on the side. I was not opening up with them. So during Christmas time, I was with my partner and my parents, and I told them what had happened. that was really hard too. My mother took his side, like she always did. Her first love, like we could never say anything against him. I'm okay with that now, but then it was one of the most difficult things to see my mother that should have been someone protecting me, not able even to be compassionate with my pain, just pushing my pain away. She had done that before when I was saying that my brother was doing voyeurism. She was just saying to me, just, I had issues with my brother too, just stop worrying about it, like just whatever. Like I had to kind of silence myself, right? Which I was not able to do anymore. So that's also this dark night of the soul does. There's so much going up to the surface to be clear that you can't hold back on anything anymore, because otherwise you feel you're gonna die. I was feeling, if I stay in that family unit and don't say anything, who's hurting again? It's me. I was the one that was organizing birthday parties, buying gifts, and trying to find cute places to go to a restaurant. I was always like the cheerleader, the glue to the family. I was thinking I was. But a glue to what family? Did we really have this family that was so close, so strong? Did we really have this family that we were showing up as so intimate with each other in a positive way? We were just not. And I just could not stay silent anymore. I just could not. My father got really sad when I said that my brother had sexually assaulted me. For me, that part with my mother also made me choose a different path. So I did not want to see her anymore after that point. And then I wrote her a letter as well, explaining my point of view. And I always think she needed to get help, because I have a feeling she has a lot of trauma she's never wanted to dive into and clear and heal. So I suggested that to her, and she just didn't make really anything of it. So I just decided that my role as a therapist for my mother was ending. I just did not want to do that. I had grown up to be her confidant from 3 years old. I'm sure she was telling me her crazy stories. I was 2 years old. And I'm saying crazy because they had way too much details for what a kid could handle. So that's what happened. So that was 2018. And then I was still doing my counseling sessions, because who was I if I was not my brother's sister and my mother's daughter and therapist? And in the summer of 2019, I decided to move back to Vancouver, which I had gone when I was younger, leaving everything behind but a few boxes and my dog that was living with me. I left the other dog to my partner I had at the time. I also stopped talking to my father. I had seen him a few times, and he would drag me down with his energy, wanting to control me. He always had a bit of a controlling issue. So if I would say something, he would tell me how to do it. And I think when I was really young, I loved it about it, because I did not know a lot. But when you're over 25, you can do whatever you want, however you want. So although I had learned to love him for who he is, there was parts of our relationship that were really damaging to my soul. I did not want to be in contact with people that would just siphon my energy anymore. So all of these layers were shed between 2015 to 2019. Who am I to who? Who am I as a person? What do I want? Even my job, I left this job to go to another one, but I wanted to help. I knew that, but I just didn't know how it was gonna happen so that I feel free. Freedom always has been a very important part of my values. Compassion, love, honesty, authenticity. This is who I am. I am free. I am authentic. I am love. I am light. And this is what I remembered. And with this remembrance came so many gifts. I would never have thought that this process, although it was just heartbreaking, I had heartbreaks about after heartbreaks, this memory, then all of the rest that came back, and then me talking to my brother, and then my mother, and then my father, and it was just the partner I had then. And the image I have right now is just like I was in my cocoon for so long. And when I decided to open my beautiful butterfly wings, that period between the two, the transition, which is super uncomfortable because you have no idea what type of butterfly you'll be, and you don't even know if you want to be a butterfly, but you're going there. You're pushing away the reality that is not aligned with your soul. This is how I see the dark night of the soul. So yes, I cried. Just thinking about it, I get also emotional because it was hard. Not knowing who I was, not knowing who I was gonna be, not knowing if I had a space in this universe, because I always felt I was not fitting anywhere. I had this feeling within, and now we were saying that even my family was a lie. So who was I supposed to be? How was it supposed to work now? So it was shaking my tree a lot, and all the apples in the tree, they all fell off, and I had to check all of them and say, okay, is this good for me or it's not? And I know for the family members are watching that, it might be hard to hear, but my distance made me feel whole. I could not be me or become who I am and staying in contact with you. It was just impossible to be me, because I had to be silenced all the time, because no one wanted to hear what I really thought, what I really felt. And now, no more. Not even one day someone will tell me to shut up. Not even one time somebody is going to tell me I'm too sensitive. Not even one time somebody will tell me that my truth is not worth hearing or listening to. This is who I am now, and I'm proud of that. And for all of my beautiful listeners, you have this right too. And if you want help, I've had a lot of learning through all of these years, and I can help you. The inner child work is incredible. The healing of our past lives and whatever soul contracts we have is super powerful as well. There's so many layers, but it's possible, and we just need to support each other, because when I heal, I can support you healing, and then you can support others healing, and I know that I'm helping my ancestral lineage and even my family to heal by healing me. So it's not about staying in contact if it doesn't feel right. It's about, am I able now to look at what happened and forgive? Yes, I am. Am I able to send them love? Yes, I am. Am I able to stand up for myself and say my truth? I am doing it now. And it's been on my mind and in my heart for a long time, and I just wanted to do it today. So it's a little long as a video, but I hope it resonates with you. And just know that on the other side of this dark night of the soul, you have no idea who you will become, who you will find that you are, because we're shedding so much out of ourselves, and then you go back to your essence. I've never loved people fighting. I've never loved seeing people scared and frustrated and angry, but now I can send them love and not be afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. I am a sovereign being. I am free. And you can be too. So this is my sharing for today. And please share the story if you think it can help anyone. And reach out to me or anyone that could be supportive of you in your journey if you're feeling really lost at this time. Love you so much. Bye.